Hi everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, this is exactly how I sound right now. I've contracted COVID-19 a few days ago. I'm still recovering and I'm quarantined myself in a room, okay? And I'm completely congested, sound nasal and horrible, and I'm like talking through a pillow. But here's what's interesting. And this is an opportunity for me to actually put the myth to the test. What happened was many years ago, I thought all the audio problems can be fixed at post-production. I even heard someone ask the sound engineer to make the voice sound normal when the person is sick. So today, I'm gonna throw every whatever plugin that I have at this COVID flu voice. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly what Pro Audio can or cannot do for your voice, okay? So let's get started. Okay, so what you're seeing over here is my Logic session. I'm gonna do a short recording of the verse, okay? So please bear with me. I know I sound horrible, but please bear with me just for this short demo, and I believe it will benefit you a lot. I'm gonna turn on the record button, but at this point you'll probably hear some double voices because of the audio routing, so do not be alarmed. Okay, so let's just get through this. Okay, right. Yeah, that's the double voice. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. Okay, so let me just turn this off. Alright, now I sounded a little normal. So let me just do a short playback and let's hear what's going on. I am not a stranger to the dark. They say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. So you can hear that, usually sick voice, the notes are a little shaky because of the vocal cords condition. Now, so what can we fix? The first things that we can fix probably is the note. So I'm gonna put out this sick voice, this Melodyne auto tune plugged in. Okay, so let's just run through that so that you can see how I fix my problematic voice on the go. Okay, I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. Okay, so it's done. So you can see all these notes. Let's do a quick one. Select all, Control A, and then go to here and you see the pitch center. So let's pull it to 100%. You can see how many notes are moving. Oh my gosh. Seems like all the notes are not in tune. Maybe, we don't know. Okay, so this is once we fixed, right? So let me just zoom in. You can see that the notes are very shaky because, so we can fix that, no problem. So let me just, this is semblance. Semblance we can also fix, no problem. So just okay, so let me just turn the volume down a little bit. This This is a quick fix actually. So if you want to spend time really go into details and fix all the nitty-gritty things, yes, we can do that. But I'm not gonna bore you with all this. So I'm just gonna do a quick fix so that it sounds a little bit better. Because the notes is not horribly like not in tune, so it's pretty much some of the parts that we need to fix, but not all the parts. Okay, so here, because I've done this for many years, so I probably know what are the things that by looking at the waveform and what are the things that we need to fix. Okay, now this is a big S. Okay, see, oh my gosh, this is like no good. Okay, so okay, let's hear some notes. Probably we need to tune, but let's hear it first. I am not a stranger. So this one, I think I am not a stranger to stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. Okay, so it seems that the problem of the tune is pretty much there. It's fixed, but you can still hear the nasal sound. It doesn't go away. This is irritating, right? But let's see if EQ can fix it or not. So let's just pull out the EQ. Now, EQ, let's just, for the time sake, let's just play and adjust along the way. So, okay, so I'll just do the adjustment. I am not a stranger to so you can see over here there are hide away low frequencies that I don't want. I can just filter out. And here is a little bit of all my scars. Muddiness that can improve. They say no one will love you as you are. So usually the nasal sound is somewhere around 1000 to 2000 hertz. So we can just check over here what frequency pokes up, and then we can reduce it. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away. Okay, so I think here we can remove that a little bit. If I remove too much, it sounds very strange. Like, for example, if I removed all of them. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away. It sounds a bit like boxy. Some of the frequencies disappeared. So we can't actually remove too much. Okay, so the best we can do maybe somewhere around here. But this is actually a lot already. Okay, so maybe I'll just narrow down a little bit. Of course, we need to give the voice a little presence so that it doesn't sound so dull because I've removed some of the frequency. Probably I can do a little bit more somewhere around 400. The muddiness, just take out a little bit over here. So here we give a boost a little bit, and then we get over here, not so much, but a little bit presence. Okay. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say. Before, so we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Cleaner a little bit, but it's still got the nasal sound, right? So now, let's use a compressor. Now, we can use a logic compressor, but let me just try using some very famous compressor. Let's say we use a LA2A tube compressor from UAD. This is nice, right? So we can just use that for vocals. So let's just choose a male voice, okay? Male voice. Okay, I am not a stranger. It's too loud. So let me just reduce the gain a little bit. And then the peak reductions also. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. So you can hear, even though I use a very good compressor, it actually makes my nasal sound worse because it emphasizes everything. Okay, so maybe we should use a not so good ones. Maybe let's try use back Logic's built-in one. Okay, so I like the Opto. Opto is very nice, natural. Maybe it doesn't make my voice sound so nasal. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so let's change the maybe probably like, okay, it's a threshold -27, and we don't mark out a little bit about 3 dB. So let's hear it. So I've turned off the LA2A. So I am not a stranger to the dark. Yeah, so it's about 3. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. So again here, same problem. Whether I'm using a Logic built-in compressor or I'm using the LA2A, we get the same problem because it emphasizes my nasalness, doesn't remove it. That's bad, right? So let's try use another one, de-esser. This is one of my favorite de-esser, the Lindell. This will actually remove some of the harshness. I am not a stranger to the dark. I have so much semblance. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. But it doesn't remove the nasal still. Now, I have another one. This is a favorite one that many people like to use, which is the reverb. Okay, now I have different reverb. Okay, so let's try the Logic reverb. This is a very good quality reverb, and let's try with this medium room and countryside church. Okay, so how does it sound like if I have a reverb? Maybe it helps me. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say. Maybe increase a little bit more. We don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. It's a bit too much. Run away, they say. That sounds okay, but it still doesn't remove. Maybe one reverb not enough. Let me use 2 then. I should use 2 reverb then. Okay, so this one, it's gonna be a big concerto. Okay, so let me just use this, and then this one maybe I'll change. Let's use the UAD piano reverb. This is very beautiful. I am not a stranger to the dark. The tail and the reverb is very nice, but with the concerto, let's see. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. With a reverb, does it remove? No, it still doesn't remove the nasal. And let's listen to in context with the piano. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. This is after. Let me play the before. I'm gonna turn off the effect and let you hear. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. Turn it on. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say. No one will love you as you are. So from here, you can clearly hear, regardless what I do, garbage in, garbage out. So if I have a nasal, sick voice, it still sounds sick, even though it may improve a little bit. And sometimes if you are using a wrong tool, it's even gonna make it even worse, right? So the moral of the story is, when we do an audio recording or when we are performing, the source is very important. So do our homework and do our warm-up, do our practice every single day if we want to give a great performance. And do not expect the sound engineer to do magic. They are not a wizard, okay? They can't change the texture and make your nasal sound go away, okay? We, as sound engineer, we can enhance and we can try to focus on certain parts of the good parts of your voice. But if you are sick, you're sick. Don't postpone it, all right? So that's it for today. I hope you learned something, and I'll catch up with you again when I feel better and I'm recover from my COVID. Thank you and take care. Bye-bye.